I think it's one of the key aspects of Jungian psychology, because Jung believed in the personal unconscious, which is what Freud was talking about, repressing conflicts, but also the collective unconscious. And that is what allows us to understand each other no matter where we live, no matter where we're from. So that some of the things that you know about in South Africa, cultures, rituals, etc., people in Phoenix, Arizona might also dream about and also understand, because we all carry a certain level of personal and collective unconscious together. But I always think about it as well as if the expression is from, I think it's from the Old Testament, a letter unanswered. If you can imagine a dream not remembered is like a letter unanswered, and the dreams come from the unconscious. So the unconscious is not just junk, but it is ways that we can figure out how to live our lives more fully, and things that we are missing in our personality. So Jung would say, I'm just going to add just a bit, Jung would say the psyche regulates itself, balance. So if you're out of balance consciously, the unconscious comes up and says, this is what you need to enrich your personality and live your life in an easier, more fulfilling way.
Mm-hmm. So the unconscious is not a place necessarily for Jung where all the demons that we don't want to know about lie. It's a place that comes to us as a way of balancing us, giving us aspects of ourselves that we're needing to integrate more.
Well, yes, and I think that this is why the unconscious is so important in Jungian depth work. So when people come for therapy or analysis, bringing dreams is usually part of what happens because they reflect the unconscious. But also bringing any examples of your life, the person that you are in a relationship with, the friend you're having a fight with, the situation that has occurred rather synchronistically, all of these bring up the unconscious. For me, it's like walking around with a depth of one's being versus walking around like a flat line. So the unconscious is like essential to find out who you are as a person. It's not just the repressed, it's the conflicts, it's the repressed, but it's also the riches of one's being, really the wealth of being. What Jung did with the collective unconscious is he found a basis for his own process of individuation, which is what Jungian psychology really is. He calls it the process of individuation, meaning being your own person. You can only be your own person by accessing your conscious life and also your unconscious life together. And history, back in history, your own generational history, or the history of the world, the history of the culture, the history of the country that we each live in, they tell us, they reveal the unconscious to us, and they come through dreams as well. So Jung got substantiation for his work with the unconscious from alchemy, which was a medieval science, from the Gnostics, who were a mystical religion around the BC era, and many other mystical elements of all religions, because they reveal the symbols of ourselves.
So individuation is about becoming a full self that's integrated different aspects of what it means to be you, what it means to be human.
Yes.
And how do you help a patient towards individuation in therapy?
Well, part is through the interaction that occurs, the honoring of a person that makes them their own separate being is one. And also their dreams, because we were focusing as well on dreams. Somebody will bring in a dream which will show who they are as a person, what they have to do to become more of who they really are as well, and how they are connected to the rest of humanity. I'm going to add one thing. Jung said that you don't individuate on a mountaintop by yourself. You individuate in the midst of the street with everybody else so that you're in your life. You don't go off on a retreat to become yourself. You live your life to become yourself. So somebody will come into therapy or analysis with a certain problem. But that's the tip of the iceberg. And way down in the iceberg is the unconscious. And so usually people are missing that part of their life. I mean, nobody really tells you when you're in school, pay attention to your unconscious. Honor what's going on inside. It's not just junk. Honor your dreams, honor your feelings, honor your intuitions, honor your random thoughts, keep journals. Those are all ways that people can access the unconscious.
So let's think a bit about how dreams are understood from a Jungian perspective, because from a Freudian framework, dreams are very much about wish fulfillment. So it's an id desire that's disguised and inadvertently met through the dream. So the dream's almost like a compromise formation to simply meet the person's id desire. But as I understand, Jung has a very different view, that dreams are not just bringing the id desires through, but rather presenting to you some aspect of yourself that you're needing to integrate. So it's presenting something that you're needing in your psyche. Can you tell us a bit more about Jung's view of dreams?
Well, again, Jung believed, he would say this frequently over and over, the reality of the psyche. So reality is not just wish. Reality is reality. So it's not just wishes. I wish for this. It is, I have a part of who I am that is not being fulfilled. This is what you need to do to fulfill it. Oftentimes dreams are like fairy tales, which are very typical in Jungian psychology as well. Fairy tales, legends, they tell a story. They have a hero, heroine, he or she has to climb through the mountain, you have to have a magic comb, whatever it is, and you find the partner at the end. What it represents is your own journey of life. So the people who will come into therapy, I will have a flash and I will say, you know, what you said sounds like a fairy tale. Or you're in the midst of the fairy tale of you're now like in the forest and you can't get out yet. In the forest represents the unconscious. So we would talk back and forth. I'm not there to tell someone, of course, how to think or what to do, but we work together to expand the symbols in the dreams. It is, in a way, a very different approach than Freudian, similar in the sense of honoring the psyche and honoring the complexity of what it is to be a person, but different in the sense of take the symbols and expand them like you would an accordion. All the symbols in the dreams, the symbols in life, the symbols of whatever you run into in your daily life, and expand them. What does it really mean?